All right, Shalom, Akim. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachakodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that teach the word in our true faith and sincerity. And I just want to, just pretty much just meditating on this song. That's pretty much the inspiration of this video, old gospel song by the artist Anita Baker. As you can see the title, it will be all over in the morning. If you know about that song, then you'll know pretty much where I'm getting at, because it will be all over in the morning, which is concerning the end of Esau's reign and his rulership. You know, his time is the night. He even talks about how the scripture speaks about how the beasts they come out in the night. The priests come out at night. That's the time of Esau. You know, in the morning is going to begin. Is going to begin by the return of Yahweh Shai, man. You know, talks about how he's the bright and morning star, but it's going to be all over the morning, because this is not the end all be all. This place, America, this system, how everything you see, from bus stations, driver's license, stoplights, and just all types of just this whole setup, this world, this system that you see today is going to be here today, but gone tomorrow, man. Ain't gonna be no need to worry about remembering your social security number, or make sure you keep that phone bill up. You know what I mean? It's just all types of goofy shit that required here in this place, man. So pretty much, because let's start off with something real quick. In the book of Job chapter 21, because how this devil got things set up, how he was able to rule. If you don't have the Holy Spirit upon you, you would think that this is the end all be all, man. That this is how this is going to be, and it's going to be next, the upgrade of technology, and like it ain't nothing going to change. This going to increase with this devil continuing being in power, man. That's the mindset of our people. This is Job 21 verse 7. It reads, "Wherefore do the wicked live, become old, yeah, are mighty in power." And that's pretty much Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Even when you go into the statue of Daniel, that was going into those major empires that was going to come and go before the kingdom of heaven would be established. Pretty much the bottom half of the statue was Esau. You had the head. You had the Babylonians, the Medo-Persians, the Greeks, and the Romans. Well, the Greeks and the Romans, those were the Edomites. And now we in a part of the feet, the toes, where the toes are being broken. But that's the Edomites, man. They're still ruling to this day. So you see that they living and becoming old, meaning them still being in power, ruling, because even each kingdom averaged about 250 years. Esau easing upon that, but even in that, he was given multiple runs, because that him with them Greeks and the Romans, that was just pretty much, like I said, that was the Edomites as a whole. But then now you seeing this revival in the form of America, man. It says their seed is established in their sight with them and their offspring before their eyes. They able to sit back and enjoy their to be in power, man. And see their kids, and they set up their children, their grandchildren. They set them up because they on these that was really speaking on the higher ups, because that's what it's going into. They said those that are mighty in power. And I know Edomite, they got a F-150. No, these concerning those that are in rulership. They set things up with their children because they understand reincarnation, man. But as a whole, you see the Edomites, they experience that as well in a sense. But it is concerning those elites. It said their houses are safe from fear, neither is the rod of the Most High upon them. And if now is the time where the Lord is smiting this devil in the beginning by the way of this word. But to the naked eye, those that don't possess the Holy Spirit, through the Spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shah, the Lord then calls them to see it. It will be perceived that this devil has power, man. Talks about that war to them that trust in Egypt because he got many horses and many chariots. Nigga talk about the U.S. military like he a part of, like, yeah, we can do, So that what causes them to think that way. And we once thought that way in the sense of our path. In the sense of, what you wanted to do, how you wanted to do things, your path, meaning how you operate, whether you wanted to go to college and have a career and shoot basketball. That was you coming onto suggestion onto this man and falling in line. And now you just got to make your bed here. But that's not the case. The Lord has opened our eyes to that, this man is not going to rule forever, man. Going back to that's the title of the lesson is gonna be all over in the morning. You ain't gotta worry. You going to college, you paying debt, college debt. You get a laborer's job. Now you shit hurting your body, you know. Let me see what's that. I think that's Psalms 73, I believe. Psalms chapter 73. And I just started at verse 3. It reads, "For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked." And the scripture talk about fret not, so like it. It says, "For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked." So that means falling out of his path. This man laid these snares and traps to get to where he's at. You have to go to college. You've got to enroll into the military. These certain options that's laid before you to get to where he's at. But it's all the trap, even from a rapper, a drug dealer, all these things here that's presented unto you here in America is really a dead end. That's why the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai had opened our eyes. Now we have an outlet through Yahweh Shai. It begins by believing in this first. That's the first step to it. If you don't believe, how can you even get somewhere you don't even believe in the directions? He said, man, he told me to take a right, but I'm gonna take a left. I don't know, man. He looked crazy. I don't know for real, but now you gotta believe in it. In the report, it says, "For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm." And you could take an example of their military, technology that you see. And a nigga will make that, he'll make a statement like that. If it wasn't for the white man, if he say that, you know he must be put to death, you know? Even though we know Esau was set up for prophecy's sake, but he was saying he wouldn't be civilized if it went for Esau. You know, he wouldn't be if it went for the so-called white man, he wouldn't be this. Uh, this wouldn't be that. You know, even Esau make this, you know, proclamation. You know, concerning their colonization. If I'm saying it properly, you know, they set up. Now you can use. Everybody got cell phones and shit now. Like that's on the fucking boast, man. You know, you getting counseling shit from that. Motherfucker getting them damn humps on their neck from on their damn neck and shit from you know, look got the little turtle shell type neck from bending fucking over looking at their phones, man. Boasting and shit like that, but that's for an example. You know, they take their technology, their military, and Jake look at that and like, who can beat them? Oh, even in Revelation 13, try to speak about that. Who can make war with this beast? You know, this nigga got this army, this conglomerate of nations. You know, and if you attack one, they all in. You know, this is they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they played like other men. So as you can see, you know, this is concerning a certain nation now. This is separating a certain nation. This is concerning the wicked. Who the wicked? Esau. When you read Malachi, the first chapter, the border of wickedness. You know, he is the wicked. Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Look at this man, his laws and his legislations. It's set up for him to be not in trouble because he's the one that's in power. Even Joseph, but he benefit not as much now as he did, but you know, in the rankings, you know, it's the Edomites, they still on top, you know. This is therefore pride compasses them about as a chain, violence covered them as a garment. And that's who is it, that's how he that's who else could that compare to? Those two characteristics, pride and violence, that only makes sense with the so-called white man in today's time. From the sayings proud to be an American and the few the proud the Marines, you know, even Trump, you know, which is a representation of America, Babylon the Great. You know, he's the king of Babylon, Nero Trump. That nigga proud. How he deal with world leaders and how he talked to them, you know, and as well as violence. And that's Esau's blessing, which is the sword. What else? You can't do shit else with you can't make peace with the sword. Only violence comes with that, you know. So that this is concerning Esau. This concerning Eve, man. So matter of fact, uh let me jump down to verse 17. It says, until I went into the sanctuary of the most high, then understood I therein. See? So this is Yahweh Shema Shai giving us relief, man. That this is not the end all be all, that there is hope. You ain't gotta vote your way out of this. You ain't gotta do that bullshit or march or a nigga or take arms. You ain't gotta do that goofy ass. All that shit, all those are dead ends, man. We seen the results of that. That's why I talk about the Most High have set up the apostles last. Because we seen the results of everything else these niggas tried. And the shit was they ran into a brick wall, man. This is the only thing that you see that's prospering through the spirit of Yahweh by Shema Shai. It talks about how This gospel shall be preached. Then shall the end come. You can see what Lord first saying Abba, and it, which is John the Baptist. You know, because that seed and it blossomed to now you're seeing things happening now, man. And it ultimately, when the smoke clear and dust settle, is going to be in our favor through the spirit power by Yahweh Shema Shai, Lord, one who parted righteous number, man. But I'm gonna read this again. It says, until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High, then understood I therein. See who meaning E, because they the ones that's over us right now, man. That this is that time where the Lord is about to overthrow him, man. Matter of fact, because now you don't have to worry about retiring. You know, here you niggas boasting a 401k. Nah, man, we hoping that this place is violently overthrown. We rejoice when we hear World War III news because we understand the grass is greener on the other side. This is the book of Isaiah 51, verse 14, and reads, the captive exile hasteneth that he may be loose. And that's us in the spirit, man. We hasten that we may be loose from this captivity because we are in captivities, as I mentioned earlier, through the spirit. You have, we all have social security numbers. You got to remember that shit, man. Or have your card. I mean, you ain't gonna be able to, you know. And that's just one example. So yeah, we actually acknowledge that we in captivity and we need Yahweh Shai to come and save us, man. We said that, and we hasten. We ain't like we telling the Lord to take His time. Even though the Lord, He's a husband, it is a build up, of course, but everything is speeding up, man. And we that's the anticipation. When you're anticipating something, you anticipating some in the sense of it's a sense of urgency when you anticipating something. You ain't like it's far off. You're not anticipating it then. If it's far off, if it's near, then you really locked in. It says, and he that should not die, it's like it. I'm gonna read it again. It said, the captain Esau hastened that he may be loose, and that he should not die in the pit. See, and the pit is here in America, Babylon the Great. That's the Kazran. Barbecue pit. Yeah, the hell, you want to say that too, because this is the lake of fire, man. And it's gonna actually make sense when World War III happens. See, the lake of fire gonna actually make sense once it really happens. When you see World War III unfold in its perfection, when all those missiles hit this place, man. But that's not our doctrine is not set up to what we gotta die here, man, in this place, America. We're not expecting to be here forever and retire, as I mentioned earlier. It says, nor that his bread shall fail, and that's this doctrine, man, because everything is making sense. What we saying through the spirit concerning World War III, the food shortages, the concentration camps. So everything, and that's why we're rejoicing in the spirit, because it's happening. These things, these evils that's unfolding, you know. But just going back to the point that this is not the end all be all, you know. Going what it says, hasten of I think that's Second Peter, the third chapter. Let's get that. Oh, and then I think Yahushua said that I had to get that too. Matter of fact, let me get that first, and I go back to Second Peter. That the days shall be short for the elect's sake, man. What days? These concerning these times now. Let's see. St. Matthew 24, verse 22, it reads, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. So that's concerning this time now. We in the height of death, man. Going back to Esau Edom being rulership, he is the sword. He can't do nothing but destroy. He can't build. He can only destroy, man. Even the things that's perceived as beneficial, it's a side effect. So he only can destroy. Whether you take some pain pills, if you all right, but now you constipate. So it cancels out, man. That's the only thing he can do. But on all levels, it results in death, even coming to World War III. Because that's what it's coming to. You know, and how he operate things, all that on all levels. How this man rule from you can see the wildlife. You got extinct animals. You know, from this man over hunting, and he gathering unclean foods, disrupting the ecosystem. It's like on all levels, this nigga destroying on all levels, man. So things had to be sped up, and we in that same spirit, man. Because Yahushua, he's in that spirit. He's speeding things up. Talks about that how the Lord longest those that longest for thee. So that's so he been anxious, because we just now coming into this through the spirit. But this was from the beginning. The Lord been waiting on this moment now, man. So that's why we in that same spirit as well, hastening. It says, and except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be short. See, because that's our desires, man. For the days to be short, for these things to be, for everything to be wrapped up, man. You know. So let's get that in the book of Second Peter, chapter 3. In verse 12, it reads, looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of Yahweh Shai, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. And what is concerning the destruction, man. We waiting on this moment in time that's gonna bring forth the return of Yahushua. He's the only way for us to get out of that moment. And even before that, when it talks about that in Revelation the third chapter, he said, I will keep thee from the hour of temptation. So it's Yahushua, is going to keep us, man. Lord going to send forth the angels to assist. But it talks about how all power is given unto him, man. And ultimately, when his return is they're going to have to acknowledge him here on the earth. They already acknowledge him in the heavens. When you read Revelation the 5th chapter. But it's going to be perfected. That acknowledgement is going to be perfected once that return, man. Because you're going to be able to, you're going to have no choice but to acknowledge him in a bow. And then you gonna know the Lord. Cause the back of your head gonna touch your neck. I mean, back of your head gonna touch your back. Cause you gonna see that chariot hovering over America. It talks about how he shall spread his wings over Basra, man. Jeremiah 49. So we anticipating this moment, the coming of Yahweh Shema Shai. It says, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. See, it's gonna be all over. It's like that's when everything is going to be. Like I said, the grass is going to be green on the other side, man. It's going to be all over in the morning. That bullshit that you see here that's on display, you got chemtrails and smog, or whatever they call it, water pollution, air pollution, beaching. You got self-deletion hotlines like to calm you down from not hanging your, you know what I mean? It's in that's why I talked about the scripture talk about it's in the apocrypha, death is better than a bitter life. That's so much on display here in this lifetime, by the way of this man being in power. All these protests, and it's to the point now they saying it's the Edomites. By saying so-called white male, you know. So it said, nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth, wherein dwelleth righteousness. See? So this is concerning the prophecies, man. This is, Lord, his intents and purposes. Oh, what's that? It said, because his promise, what's that? I think that's Luke 12. Luke 12 and kind of verse 32, it reads, fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. See, so why would you think that we weren't anticipating the end of this place? We ready for this shit to go, man. So we can actually live now. And actually get a breath of fresh air. And it can be literal this time. Because even figurative now, and because it's so fucking hard that you can't even unwind. You can't unwind. It's a task to try to unwind here in this place, man. Let you know that you're in hell. So matter of fact, I'm gonna end it off on this right here in the book of Psalm 49. And I start at verse 11. It reads, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. And that's concerning Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. That's why you got Alexandria, Egypt. Americas, Africa, the continent of Africa. But even now, you got George Washington Boulevard. And this devil really got in his mind that he gonna rule forever. This nigga got an NFL schedule to the year 2100. This nigga got the saying. He the one that came up with the saying, see you next week. You know what I mean? All this confidence and pride that he's gonna just keep going. Even if the nigga the missiles come, somehow, some way he come back and rebuild. That's why you got that phoenix rise from the ashes. That's the pride of this nigga, man. And that has spilled onto to these people as well. They got in their mind. That's why they making that bed here, making it. Making investments here in a sense of being a fucking American. It says, nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He is like the beast that perish. See, and so it said, being in honor abideth not. So that honor, that's concerning being in power. Matter of fact, let's get that word honor. Let's go into that. Price, value, preciousness, splendor, pomp. See, esteem, wealth. Hold on, I got a root. So that's really going into high. You know, esteem, to be prized, valuable, appraise you at the top, pretty much. Make something precious, right? That's pretty much the point. You being in honor, meaning you being on top. And all these nations, they have their moment. They came and went. This man had in his mind that he think he's going to continue, but he said, nevertheless, see, this is not the intents and purposes of the Lord for this man to continue. You can go into Proverbs, the 10th chapter, talks about how it turns the hope of the righteous and the hope of the wicked and the expectation of the righteous. And it coincides with each other. And it's really concerning this balance, this power. Who gonna rule? Because if he playing backfire, that mean we win. If I playing backfire, that mean he win. But we know it's already scripted. We, Lord willing, we parted right number. What happens at the end, man. It said, nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He is like the beast that perish. It also speaks of that in Job 20. Let me just get it real quick. I don't want to butcher. Job 20 and verse 4, it reads, know thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. So that's concerning, since man was on earth, you had men to come up and they had to fall, man. From you seen from certain leaders on different levels, on all levels, man. Nigga, the village leader to the president of these rulers, man. Ultimately, it goes onto these rulers. They have their moment, they come, and then they go, man. This has always been the case. America is no different. The so-called white man is no different. It don't matter. This nigga came up with the airplane. His military bad. This nigga got $1 trillion military. It don't motherfucking matter. It concerning the intents and purposes of the Lord. It says the little flock will get the kingdom, and that's concerning the elect. Going back, Jeremiah 49 and 12 reads, nevertheless, man being in honor abideth not. He is like the beast that perish. This their way is their folly, yet their prosperity approve their sayings. Salah. So they think just because they're continuing, or talks about that as well, since sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the hearts of sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. So this nigga's all gas, no brakes concerning wickedness, and he think that that's why he's prospering. See, the Lord put him in a big old trick bag, man. And that's why you got missiles here on the planet Earth. because that's his fate. It says, like sheep, they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them, and the upright shall have dominion over them in the morning. And their beauty shall consume in the grave from their dwelling. So that's going into this transition of power, man. See, what's going to cement that is World War III. World War III is going to cut this man off and set us up. This is how that transition is. This is how that transition is going to happen. That's when the night is over. The Lord's going to break that night up. The return of Yahweh Shai. And it's going to come by the way of World War III. He's going to bring that destruction, man. But that's when it's going to be all over in the morning, man. When the destruction comes. You know? So yeah, I just hope this will edify. I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakakodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say shalom to the elect that's teaching word on true faith and sincerity. Shalom.